Chapter 14. Lester returned to Chicago. He realized that he had offended his father seriously, how seriously he could not say. In all his personal uh, rela- relations with old Archibald, he had never seen him so worked up. But even now, Lester did not feel that the breach was irreparable. He hardly realized that it was necessary for him to act decisively if he hoped to retain his father's affection and confidence. As for the world at large, what did it matter how much people talked or what they said? He was big enough to stand alone. What was he? People turn so quickly from weakness or the shadow of it to get away from failure, even the mere suspicion of it. That seems to have stopped subconscious feeling with the average man and woman. We all avoid non-success as thought we fear that it may prove contagious. Lester was soon to feel the force of this prejudge. One day, Lester happened to run across uh, Barry Dodge, the millionaire head of Dodge, Holbrook and Kingsbury, a firm that stood in the dry goods world where the King Company stood the carriage world. Dodge had been one of Lester's best friends. He knew him as intimately as he knew Henry Bracebridge of Cleveland and George Knowles of Cincinnati. He visited at his handsome home on the North Shore, a drive, and they made constantly in a business and social way. But since Lester had moved out to Hyde Park, the old intimacy had lapsed. Now they came face to face on Michigan Avenue near the Kane building. While Lester, I'm glad to see you again, said that she extended a formal hand and seemed just a little cold. I hear you gone and married since I saw you. No, nothing like that, replied Lester easily with the air of one who prefers to be understood in the way of the woods. Why so secret about it? If you have asked Dodge, attempting to smile, but with the wry wrist to corners of his mouth, he was trying to be nice and to go through the higher difficult situation gracefully. He fellows usually make a fuss about that sort of thing. You ought to let your friend know, Will said Lester, feeling the edge of the social blade that was being driven into him. I bought I'd do it in a new way. I'm not much for excitement in that direction. Anyhow, it is a matter of taste, isn't it? Said Dodge little absently. You're living in the city, of course, in Hyde Park. That's a pleasant territory. How are things otherwise? And uh, def- deftly changed the subject before waving him perfunctory warfare. Lester missed at once inquire which a man Dutch would have uh, Dutch would have made if he had really believed that he was married. Under ordinary circumstances, friends would have wanted to know a great deal about about the new Miss Kane. There would have been all those little familiar uh, touches common to people living on the same social plane. Dutch would have asked Lester to bring his wife over to see them, would have definitely promised to call. Nothing of sort happened, and Lester noticed the significant omission. It was the same with the Burnham Morris and the Henry Aldriches and a score of other people whom he knew equally well. Apparently, they all thought that he had married and settled down. They were interested to know where he was living, and they were rather disposed to joke him about being very secretive on the subject, but they were not willing to discuss the part Mr. Kane. He was being to see that this move of his was going to tell against him, notably one of the worst stabs. It was the cruelest because, in a way, it was the most unintentional. He received from an old acquaintance, Will Whitney, all the Union Club. Lester was dining there one evening. The Whitney met him in the main reading room as he was crossing from the cloakroom to the cigar stand. The latter was typical society figure, tall, lean, smooth-faced, um, immaculately garbed, a little sensitive tonight, a little the worse for liquor. "Hi, Lester," he called out. What is this talk about marriage of yours out in Hyde Park? Say you're going home. How are you going to explain all of this your wife when you get married? I don't have to explain it, replied Lester irritably. Why should you be so interested in my affairs? You're not living in a stone house, are you? Say, haha, that's pretty good now, isn't it? You didn't marry that little beauty you used to travel around with on the north side, did you? And now, ha, well, I swear you married. You didn't know, did you? Cut out, Whitney, said Lister roughly. You're taking wild part, Lister, said the other aimlessly but sobering. I beg your pardon. Remember, I am just a little warm. Ate whiskey sour straight in the other room there. Pardon, I will talk you sometime when I am all right. See, Lester, I am little to lose. That's right. Well, so long. Lester could not get over that cacophonous. I cut him even though I came from drunken man's mouth. That little beauty you need used to travel with on the north side. You didn't marry her, did you? He quoted Whitney's impertinence recently, George. But this was getting a little rough. He had never endured anything like this before. Lester Kane, it set him thinking. Certainly he was paying dearly for trying to do the kind of thing by Jenny.